The first woman to drive a car. A strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey, but a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. When we talk about the first woman who drove a car, understand that she was also the first woman to take on a very big risk in the entire world. On August 5, 1888, 39-year-old Bertha Benz drove from Mannheim to Pforzheim with her sons Richard and Eugen, 13 and 15 years old respectively, in a Model 3, without telling her husband and without permission of the authorities, thus becoming the first person to drive an automobile a significant distance. Before this historic trip, motorized drives were merely very short trials, returning to the point of origin, made with assistance of mechanics, following wagon tracks. This pioneering tour covered a one-way distance of about 106 kilometers, 66 miles. Although the ostensible purpose of the trip was to visit her mother, Bertha Benz had other motives to prove to her husband, who had failed to adequately consider marketing his invention, that the automobile in which they both had heavily invested would become a financial success once it was shown to be useful to the general public, and to give her husband the confidence that his constructions had a future. She left Mannheim around dawn, solving numerous problems along the way. Bertha demonstrated her significant technical capabilities on this journey. With no fuel tank and only a 4.5-liter supply of petrol in the carburetor, she had to find ligroin, the petroleum solvent needed for the car to run. The solvent was only available at apothecary shops, so she stopped in Wiesloch at the city pharmacy to purchase the fuel. At the time, petrol and other fuels could only be bought from chemists, and so this is how the chemist in Wiesloch became the first fuel station in the world. Bertha Benz, May 3, 1849 to May 5, 1944, was a German automotive pioneer and inventor. She was the business partner and wife of automobile inventor Carl Benz. On August 5, 1888, she was the first person to drive an internal combustion engine automobile over a long distance, field testing the Benz patent motor wagon, inventing brake lining and solving several practical issues during the journey of 105 kilometers, 65 miles. In doing so, she brought the patent motor wagon worldwide attention and got the company its first sales. 2 years before her marriage to Carl Benz, she used part of her dowry to invest in his failing iron construction company. As an unmarried woman, she was able to do so. After she married Benz, according to German law, Bertha lost her legal power to act as an investor. On July 20, 1872, Bertha Ringer married Carl Benz. As he moved on to a new manufacturing venture, Benz & C., he continued to use her dowry as financial support. Carl finished work on his first horseless carriage in December 1885. Bertha served as a field tester, contributing to the design of the motor wagon by adding wire insulation and inventing leather brake pads to supplement the wooden brakes when they failed. Moreover, she identified several key areas of opportunities, such as the fuel line design that Carl later improved. In addition to her contributions to the machine's design, Bertha helped finance the development of the motor wagon. She would hold patent rights under modern law, but as a married woman, she was not allowed to be named as an inventor on the patent at that time. Together they had 5 children: Eugen, 1873 to 1958, Richard, 1874 to 1955, Clara, 1877 to 1968, Thelda, 1882 to 1974, and Ellen, 1890 to 1973. On July 3, 1886, Benz presented the patent motor wagon automobile to the public in Mannheim. Within the decade, 25 vehicles had been built. With cutting-edge bicycle constructions, the Model I was the original patent motor car and the world's first automobile. The Model 2 was converted to a four-wheeler for test purposes, making it the only one of this model. The first patent motor car sold in small production runs was the Model 3. It had powered rear wheels with a ringed steel and solid rubber, steerable front wheel. Various options from which to choose were provided for customers, such as seat arrangements and a folding top. Benz died in her villa in Ladenburg in 1944, where the workshop of Carl Benz had been built after they had moved there in 1906, and he established a solely family-held business, Benz & Sons. Carl Benz had died in 1929. After the success of Daimler-Benz was assured, members of the family resided in the home for 25 more years. The Benz home now has been designated as historic and is used as a scientific meeting facility for a non-profit foundation, the Daimler and Benz Foundation, which aims to promote science and research in order to gain a better understanding